This attention to place and culture also helps link local skateboarding to longer global histories of skateboarding, which share this phenomena of the transitory nature of space. Lost local spaces take their place within a category of legendary spots like the Embarcadero Center in San Francisco and Philadelphia's Love Park, creating for local skaters a sense of solidarity with other skaters and giving to the activity the feeling that it's not just a sport, but a movement. Related to this sense of longer timescale processes are global flows of cultural products, of fashion and music and language and attitude, flows that are entrained not just with global economic cycles, but also with the cycles of school holidays and the travel of individual skaters who carry these cultural products in and out of Hong Kong, introducing them to their peers. In communities of Hong Kong skateboarders, these global flows of culture, discourse, and language are a matter of everyday life. One thing that characterizes these communities is the degree of cultural and linguistic crossing, greater than many other communities in which these kids participate. This chart shows the ethno-linguistic makeup of one of the crews I observed. As you can see from the chart, what characterizes this group of young people, but is actually quite typical of groups of skaters in Hong Kong, is variety in terms of age, ethnicity, and places of residence. Most of them speak multiple languages, participate in multiple cultures, and have lives that straddle multiple localities. They might live part of the year in Hong Kong, but go to school in the UK or US, or might have lived parts of their lives in different places. They represent a group of young people who are not just products of globalization, but agents in it, as they migrate among multiple cultural milieux, acting as linguistic and cultural brokers, carrying stories, music, fashions, and other cultural products across timescales and places. And this sense of mediating is not just physical environments, but also cultural environments. It's also an important aspect of local skateboarding videos, this kind of cultural mediation. So Saturday Skate, for example, is in many ways a statement of the experience of being a Caucasian expat in Hong Kong, opening with an image of an I Love Hong Kong t-shirt and portraying expat protagonists interacting with non-English speaking locals. The sense of out of placeness is reinforced by skaters appropriating objects in the environment such as rubbish bins for unorthodox purposes. This second example is a video taken by some Hong Kong kids on a trip to Guangzhou. And it not only portrays the special features of Guangzhou's built environment, large plazas with security guards who couldn't care less if you skate on them, especially if you offer them packs of cigarettes. But it also appropriates this Putonghua rap music, a song called Zhongguo Rap, which on one hand portrays the Hong Kongers who have come to skate here as owners of this environment, as cultural citizens, and at the same time maintains a kind of ironical distance from this cultural identity. This last one's my favorite, but I'm afraid the quality is not so good. It's by a crew of Nepalese kids, shot completely at night, full of playfulness and a kind of illicitness or outsiderness. A crew that refers to themselves as the Brokeback Brothers. Now, against the backdrop of these larger histories are the histories of individual skaters and their skating careers, and the learning trajectories that govern them. Trajectories that constrain what is possible on shorter timescales. For example, you can't do a half-cap flip until you've mastered the ollie. So amateur skate videos are also documents of this learning, learning that has much to do with identity as it does with technical skill. It's become fashionable of late in educational circles to see learning not just in terms of learning how to do something, but learning how to be a certain kind of person. But this is something skateboarders figured out a long time ago. It's central to the ideology of skating that learning is, or should be, a totalizing and utterly transformative experience. And these experiences rub up against the rhythms of other careers, taking place at the same time, in particular academic careers, in which their experience of learning is rarely so transformative, and their transformative experience as skaters is rarely valued.
即係起碼我大個睇翻自己可以睇翻我一路嘅由第一餅帶到最後個餅帶。如果咁樣影法落去，你實會越嚟越有進步啊嘛。咁你越嚟越有進步，咁你咪會一路睇。嗱，我可以講翻俾啲朋友聽啊，自己啲親戚啊會睇翻。我由嗰時即係以前第一次接觸滑板，到我依家嘅滑板技術，你可以睇一次。因為呢啲嘢講真冇天生，只係得鍛鍊。你鍛鍊先會有咁嘅成果，可以睇到我中途嘅努力。
And so these careers become part of lifetimes that stretch out before these young skaters in improbable imaginings that exasperate their parents and teachers. Every skater I talked to insisted that they would skate forever, ignoring the physical reality that after a certain age the body simply can't tolerate falling down so much, and the economic reality that almost nobody can make a living from being a skateboarder. The idealized present folded into these moments captured on video stretches out into an idealized future of perpetual youth and endless challenges. So these videos serve as links between the momentary everyday actions and these imagined futures. The videos themselves might even be tickets to these futures, auditions for sponsorship by DC Shoes or Nike, but usually not. And it really doesn't matter. What matters is that they help skaters to imagine what might be possible by bringing together processes on all the different time scales of their lives, from the level of the move to the trick, from the level of the move to the trick, to the line, to the session, to the career, to the various global and local histories of skateboarding, fashion, and popular music. The rhythms of these timescales carefully synchronized so the sounds of the skateboard along the surface of the ground are entrained with the beats of the skater's favorite song, to trajectories of learning that have brought the skater to this moment. So skate videos are both tools for learning and documents of the learning process. As members of crews work together to film one another and edit their footage, the videos serve as a focus for group action and group identity, which is reinforced when the videos are distributed to others in the community and others recognize a particular group of skaters as a crew. They help individual groups craft for themselves a social and cultural identity. But most importantly, they serve not just as retrospectives of past accomplishments and histories, but also as anticipatory discourse. Portrayals of a mythic world of skating where tricks are always landed, where perfect lines extend across disparate geographies of legendary landscapes which may have long since been reappropriated by authorities to become part of the stories and lore of the community. So what can these videos teach us about learning? One thing they demonstrate is an approach to learning that doesn't follow the linear progression of Bloom's taxonomy. Rather, learning is approached as a series of non-linear recursive processes and feedback loops in which application and synthesis might precede knowledge and understanding, and creating is not an outcome of remembering and understanding and analyzing and synthesizing. Creation comes first, not last. We learn because we can imagine. Central to this are the opportunities these creative texts provide for skaters to learn how to make meaning on multiple scales of human experience, linking moment to moment, and event to event, person to person, activity to activity, and to imagine idealized futures through the process of editing together past successes. In this regard, they compel us to ask ourselves, what opportunities do we give to our own students to imagine their futures in the momentary tasks that we give them? And so the simple conclusion I can come to, at least based on this example, as to the role creativity plays in our lives, is that it enables us to fold time. And being able to fold time is an enormously powerful ability. These poems, films, skateboarding videos, MySpace pages that we make are not ends in themselves. They're tools that we use in the real creative act, the act of creating ourselves. They are where we consecrate our memories and imagine our destinies. They allow us to make some kind of sense about where we are going and where we have been. They are the flapping of the butterfly's wings which set off little tornadoes in the dynamical systems of our lives, and sometimes, if we're lucky, they take us to the next level.
It's like to capture like that day, like maybe film my whole day. It's like that day is forever, like digitally, like in like a history book of like your life and like your friend's life and stuff. I guess it's like it's always gonna be there unless like it gets destroyed. It'll always be there.